You're watching Be More Lifestyle.
Well, the temperatures are dropping and now is the time to layer up. But you also need to take steps to protect your pets from the bitter cold. Dr. Devon Smith is back with us now. All right. Dr. Smith, where can we start?
Sure. I think there's two things that I want to kind of focus on today. The first is going to be obviously with winter time, and I know we're potentially going to get some snow early next week, desalting and what that can do to your pet's paws. It definitely applies to our canine friends a little bit more than our feline friends, but salt can be very corrosive to paw pads, and so if you are someone who needs to de-ice their steps outside, make sure you use something that's friendly to your pet's paws, just to make sure they're not getting burns from that corrosive material that's used to melt the ice. The other big thing that I think really we don't even realize could be a potential issue is antifreeze. And antifreeze is something we use in our cars, and it helps make that engine keep working during extreme temperatures. And antifreeze is something that is, it appeals to both cats and dogs because it's very sweet. And it is something that can be absolutely fatal if they ingest it. And so if you're a person who, does work on your car at home or has it around the house, just make sure it's in a place that it's not accessible to your furry friends, because if they ingest it, it's something that needs medical attention right away. And so that's just something to be mindful of that I think might not be something that you're thinking about. And that's what I'm here for.
Well, thank you. Thank you for being here. That makes total sense. Any symptoms that we should be on the lookout for in our pets?
So for antifreeze, definitely, if you see, it's something that you would see them eating. And so that's something, if you think your animal's been exposed, reach out to your veterinarian. They would need to be hospitalized and we use things like activated charcoal to decontaminate them. And with the salt, you really just see that they seem a little bit tender on their paws. So when I was living in New York City with my dogs, I could tell if they'd been exposed to salt because they'd almost kind of have a shifting leg lameness where they're lifting one paw off the ground and then they're lifting the other paw off the ground because they're just kind of all sore, but they don't really know what to do. And so that's something where, warm wash the paws, you can apply a salve to the paws, and then just make sure that you're using pet-friendly products. And if you live in an apartment complex where you might not be the one laying down the salt, I think it's totally appropriate to just make that request of your apartment or living situation so that your pets aren't averse to going outside during the winter months.
Okay, anything else you'd like to share before we run out of time?
The biggest thing, I was talking to one of the other anchors earlier, most pets like Paul here do just fine in the wintertime without layers of clothes, but if you have a pet that's really, really small or something like an Italian Greyhound where they have really, really thin skin and not a lot of hair, it's totally appropriate to get a little bit of fun and maybe put a sweater or two on your pet to help keep them warm.
All right, great information. Thank you so much for joining us again,
Always.
Dr. Smith.
Happy to be here.